Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
So you think he did none of these things? He was never present in any of these activities? This wasn't his lifestyle?
But a lifestyle and being present in activities doesn't mean he committed.
The biggest secret in the entertainment industry that really wasn't a secret at all has finally been revealed to the world.
For the consent doesn't apply.
No charges relating to minors. None.
All silence has now been broken, and victims are coming forward.
And the difference here between R. Kelly, between Epstein, no charges relating to minors.
Them appear to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence.
All of them.
There's really no deal that the U.S. Attorney's Office can offer, and it's certainly not one that Diddy will accept.
It's not what someone here would do in the bedroom, but that doesn't mean that what he did was a crime.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially
people claiming to have been victimized by Sean Combs?
It would involve decades in federal prison. We're talking about mandatory minimum sentences of 10 years for both the drug charges.
How many might have been victimizing?
All.
There were gun-related, the nightclub shooting with J-Lo, but he's going to dig in his heels, and this case is going to trial. So if you're prosecutors, you really want to make sure that your evidence is bulletproof before you go down that route.
Diddy dropped to his knees in the courtroom when his massive $50 million bail proposal got flat out denied. Now, he's facing a harsh new reality, trading his life of luxury for a cramped jail cell. Watch until the end of this video to see just how rough things are about to get for him. Desperate to avoid prison, Diddy and his team threw everything they could into securing his release. His lawyers proposed an eye-popping $50 million bail, an amount so huge it would make anyone stop and stare. But they didn't stop there. Along with the cash, Diddy put up his $48 million Miami mansion packed with every extravagance you can imagine. He even offered up his private jet, the same one he's used to jet set around the globe. And if that wasn't enough, his family, including his mother and closest relatives, co-signed the bail. They were all in, determined to pull Diddy out of this mess. Determined to make his offer irresistible, Diddy promised to hand over his passport to eliminate any chance of a quick escape to some tropical getaway. He even agreed to house arrest, practically begging, "I'll stay locked at home, just keep me out of jail." His lawyer added strict conditions, regular searches for banned items, nightly visitor logs, and severe limits on female visitors, allowing only close family like his mom, daughters, and their mothers. Diddy was pulling every string he had, doing whatever it took to sway the judge. But despite the impressive proposal, the judge wouldn't budge. And here's where things took a sharp turn. The prosecution stepped up with a hard-hitting argument that Diddy wasn't exactly someone they could trust to stay out of trouble. They dug into his past, revealing some deeply troubling details. One detail that really stood out was a series of chilling old texts. In one from 2016, Diddy sounded desperate, practically begging for help. After being caught on camera at a hotel with his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, he panicked and texted, "Call me, the cops are here. I've got 6 kids. Please call. I'm surrounded. You're going to abandon me all alone?" The messages painted a picture of someone who could get manipulative when the heat was on. But that wasn't all. Diddy allegedly shelled out $50,000 to the hotel, asking them to destroy the security footage that reportedly showed him throwing glass vases during an argument with Cassie. That kind of move didn't exactly reassure the court about his willingness to tamper with evidence or intimidate witnesses. The judge also had to factor in Diddy's immense wealth and influence, which could give him countless ways to sabotage the case. Whether it's disappearing evidence, intimidating witnesses, or using his money to sway the trial, the court was concerned his resources could seriously throw a wrench in the whole process. And Diddy's case wasn't unique. In similar high-profile cases, judges have refused bail for the same reasons. Just look at Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein. Both faced strict bail refusals for fears they'd use their fortune to escape or obstruct justice. The court wasn't willing to take any chances with Diddy either. Diddy's breakdown was unmistakable. When the judge announced that his $50 million bail request had been denied and he wouldn't be going home, it was like watching a man slam into a brick wall. Witnesses described him as looking completely shattered, as if the crushing reality of his situation had just slammed down on him all at once. Imagine this: a man who'd lived in the lap of luxury for decades, always in control, now visibly rattled, struggling to hold it together. This wasn't just disappointment, it was utter devastation. Eyewitnesses in the courtroom saw Diddy's face shift drastically as the judge's words sank in. His calm, collected facade was gone, replaced with disbelief. It even seemed like he was about to crumble, with some saying he appeared to tremble as the decision hit him. Diddy actually buckled under the weight of it all. Whether it was shock, exhaustion, or sheer mental strain, he couldn't take it. Paramedics had to be called, making it clear that the harsh reality of his new life was more than he could bear. This wasn't just a physical collapse. It was a powerful sign of something much deeper unraveling. Diddy's history with the law is long and complicated. He's no stranger to legal chaos, yet somehow he's always found a way to walk away unscathed. Remember the notorious 1999 nightclub shooting when he and his then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez were arrested after a gunfight injured 3 people? Diddy walked away free while his protege Shine took the blame. Time and time again, he's managed to slip through the cracks. But this time, it's different. These aren't just petty squabbles or brawls at clubs, these are serious charges with life-shattering consequences. And for the first time, it looks like Diddy realizes he might not be able to talk his way out of it. The chilling thought that he could be facing years or even decades behind bars must have sent him spiraling into that courtroom breakdown. As news of Diddy's meltdown spread like wildfire, reactions in the music industry ranged from sheer shock to genuine concern. Celebrities and insiders who once viewed him as an invincible mogul were left stunned by the news. Diddy had always been the definition of larger than life, weathering scandals, legal storms, and the unpredictable nature of fame, always managing to come out on top. But now people are asking, is this the end of his reign? On social media, fans and colleagues rallied behind him, but others couldn't help but wonder if this is the start of Diddy's downfall. For someone like him, this isn't just another scandal. It's a total collapse, both personally and symbolically. His entire persona was built on power, resilience, and dominance. So when he crumbled in that courtroom, it wasn't just a physical breakdown. It was the unraveling of the very empire he's spent decades building. In a world where money and fame used to solve everything, Diddy now faces the cold, isolating reality of prison. The comfort of constant attention, loyalty, and his wealth protecting him from life's darkest moments is now gone. In prison, none of that matters. For Diddy, this was the moment when reality hit him like a freight train. He spent a lifetime calling the shots, shaping his image, building an empire, and controlling everyone around him. But now he's facing a harsh truth. None of that power, influence, or wealth can save him. It's a gut-wrenching blow to anyone's ego. But for someone like Diddy, it's nothing short of a nightmare. He's no longer the king of his domain. Now he's completely at the mercy of a system that can't be bought or manipulated. His charm, his swagger, and even his fortune are powerless against this. And that reality must be utterly terrifying. The isolation for someone like Diddy isn't just the absence of people. It's the loss of everything that once defined him. Being locked away in a cold, confining cell with nothing but his own thoughts must be suffocating, as if the walls themselves are closing in. It's no wonder that authorities are taking no chances, keeping a watchful eye on him 24/7, making sure he doesn't spiral into self-destruction. Adding to Diddy's nightmare is the infamous reputation of the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, where he's currently locked up. This place is notorious for being one of the worst jails in the country, and the conditions reflect that grim reality. Filthy, cramped, and downright inhumane, hygiene is practically non-existent, with inmates going days without a proper chance to clean themselves. In winter, the cells are freezing cold, while summer turns them into suffocating ovens. There have even been reports of power outages that leave the jail in complete darkness, with no heat or hot water for days. Just picture being trapped in a freezing cold cell, shivering under a thin blanket, surrounded by nothing but cold concrete and steel. It's nothing short of a nightmare. To make matters worse, MDC is chronically overcrowded, cramming inmates into spaces far beyond capacity. There's no privacy, no room to breathe, and the constant tension of needing to stay on high alert. For someone like Diddy, used to vast mansions and the luxury of space, this suffocating environment must feel like an unbearable prison. To make matters worse, Diddy is being held in solitary confinement in the Special Housing Unit, SHU, a section of the jail meant for high-risk inmates, either to themselves or others. This isn't your typical jail wing. It's designed for maximum security. Diddy is confined to a cramped 6 by 9 foot cell. Imagine that. A man who once lived in a $48 million mansion now spends 23 hours a day in a space smaller than most closets. His luxuries consist of a steel toilet sink combo, a tiny writing desk, and a single mattress. That's it. No lavish amenities, no comfort, just cold, hard isolation. Even more disheartening is the toilet in his cell, which only flushes 3 times a day, a measure used at 1600 to prevent flooding. For Diddy, this is a stark reminder of how far he's fallen from a life of unimaginable wealth. His solitary confinement also means he gets only 1 hour of exercise outside the cell each day, spent in a small enclosed yard where he can stretch his legs. He has no interaction with other inmates, no conversation, no contact with the outside world, only guards watching his every move. The contrast between Diddy's past and present couldn't be more dramatic. Just a few months ago, he was jet-setting on private planes, attending star-studded events and living in extravagant homes. Now his world has shrunk to a small jail cell with barely enough space to move. He's gone from limitless luxury to facing a stark, unforgiving reality, one that no amount of wealth can change. In his current situation, Diddy's cell is a far cry from the lavish lifestyle he once enjoyed. Gone are the silk sheets and designer furniture. Now he's surrounded by cold metal fixtures and a rough blanket that likely feels uncomfortable at best. On top of that, Diddy faces another serious issue: his safety. His fame, combined with the nature of his charges, makes him a prime target in the prison system. Inmate subculture views taking down a high-profile figure like Diddy as a symbol of status, a kind of twisted accomplishment. Diddy's legal team has voiced concerns about his safety and has already sought a transfer to a different facility in New Jersey, believing he would be safer there. The crimes he faces are chilling, especially for someone of his prominence. If convicted, Diddy could spend the rest of his life behind bars. But what exactly do these charges mean? And how did things escalate to this point? The charges against him are akin to those typically leveled at the heads of criminal organizations, similar to a mafia boss but with his own unique twist. In Diddy's case, authorities claim he used his businesses, music empire connections, and immense wealth to cover up or even orchestrate serious criminal activities. It's not merely about dabbling in crime. He's accused of running an entire operation, using his influence to manipulate and control others. When people hear about organized crime, the mind typically gravitates toward illicit syndicates, and that's exactly what prosecutors are hinting at in Diddy's case. They argue that his empire wasn't just built on music and fashion. It was a facade masking a much darker world where a variety of criminal activities took place. This wasn't a series of isolated incidents. According to the indictment, there's a long-running pattern of wrongdoing spanning years. It wasn't just about Diddy's actions either. He allegedly used his businesses, employees, and even his security team to enable these acts. The gatherings at his properties weren't just wild parties. They were carefully orchestrated power plays. Multiple reports suggest that some women who attended these events were coerced into participation, with Diddy allegedly threatening to withdraw financial support if they refused. The issue of witness tampering and intimidation looms large in Diddy's case, especially given his wealth and influence. It's not hard to imagine how silencing individuals could seem like a simple task for someone in his position, particularly when it comes to using his resources to prevent consequences. A key piece of evidence surfaced during his bail hearing: a 2016 text message following a particularly volatile incident with his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. In the incident, Diddy allegedly assaulted her in a hotel room and then paid off the hotel to destroy security footage that would have captured the altercation. As the situation escalated, Diddy sent a frantic text to Cassie, begging her to call him as the police were closing in on him. This text, along with the actions surrounding the incident, became central to the prosecution's argument that Diddy wasn't above tampering with evidence and attempting to intimidate those involved in the case. The stakes in Diddy's case continue to rise, as prosecutors argue that his criminal activities weren't the result of isolated incidents, but part of a broader, organized effort. Authorities claim that Diddy's business empire, including Bad Boy Records and other ventures, acted like a front for a criminal operation designed to facilitate illegal activities. This wasn't just a one-man show, far from it. Prosecutors allege that a network of employees, from security staff to assistants, worked to further these activities, handling everything from arranging flights to locating women and ensuring the smooth operation of these illegal endeavors. The allegation is that these individuals, whether knowingly or not, played a significant role in covering up Diddy's crimes, keeping them hidden for years. This organized network of support for criminal activities makes the case even more serious, showing the extent of influence and power Diddy allegedly wielded. The unfolding legal drama surrounding Diddy is starting to ripple out, touching the lives of those closest to him. In much the same way that high-profile figures like Harvey Weinstein found their personal lives and reputations shattered once the truth came to light, Diddy may be facing a similar downfall. The influence and wealth that once protected him might not be enough to shield him from the full force of the law. His case highlights a larger trend where the veil of power and fame can only hold up for so long before the consequences of the threat of violence is also ever present within the confines of MDC. In prison culture, targeting a high-profile inmate like Diddy can be a way for others to gain respect or assert dominance, which makes him particularly vulnerable. Whether due to jealousy, opportunism, or simply the desire to make a name for themselves, fellow inmates might view Diddy as a target. The very fact that he is a celebrity adds another layer of danger to his already fragile situation. To minimize this risk, Diddy is being held in solitary confinement within the Special Housing Unit, SHU, a decision made to protect him from potential harm. While SHU provides some degree of security, it comes with devastating psychological consequences. Confined to a 6-by-9-foot cell for 23 hours a day, Diddy faces intense isolation and monotony. The lack of human interaction and mental stimulation can be crushing. For someone who has thrived in social settings and public engagements throughout his life, this kind of isolation is nothing short of torturous. The mental toll of this environment could have profound effects on Diddy's emotional and psychological well-being, further compounding his already immense struggles. The psychological effects of solitary confinement are indeed profound and well documented, with many studies showing that prolonged isolation can lead to severe mental health issues. For Diddy, who has lived a life surrounded by wealth, influence, and constant public attention, the sudden shift to solitary confinement in such grim conditions is nothing short of catastrophic. The psychological toll of being cut off from the outside world, especially when accustomed to a life of constant social interaction and influence, can be deeply destabilizing. As a result, the lack of human connection coupled with the harsh, unsanitary environment can lead to severe depression, anxiety, and feelings of profound hopelessness. The phenomenon known as SHU syndrome, where individuals begin to lose touch with reality due to prolonged solitary confinement, is a real and dangerous risk. This state of detachment from reality, combined with the constant psychological strain of isolation, can make it incredibly difficult for inmates to function, both mentally and emotionally. For someone like Diddy, the transition from a world of luxury and constant interaction to the oppressive isolation of solitary confinement is a severe shock to the system. His legal team may be working tirelessly to secure a transfer to a less harsh facility, but for now, Diddy faces the monumental challenge of surviving each day in an environment that offers little hope or relief. The constant fear of violence, coupled with the deep psychological strain of isolation, makes each day a struggle. As the uncertainty of his legal and physical situation looms, it is likely that Diddy is experiencing significant mental and emotional distress as the walls of his current reality close in. The future of Diddy's life, both personally and professionally, may very well be shaped by this experience. The psychological scars left by solitary confinement could alter his perspective on life and the world around him in ways he cannot fully grasp at this moment. Whether this time behind bars will become a transformative experience or one that continues to weigh heavily on him remains to be seen. What is certain, however, is that Diddy's current reality at MDC is a harsh wake-up call, one that will undoubtedly leave an indelible mark on him, potentially reshaping his life forever.